Sure.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Sue Ellam of Soulfully Connecting. I've got the great pleasure of interviewing a lady called Guari Kuchhal. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Yeah, good. Now, Gauri contacted me a few weeks ago and telling me about her naturally made products, her fabrics. And I was so impressed, I thought I must interview this lady. So she not only makes beautiful, beautiful fabrics, but also is zero waste, and it's all natural, no chemicals, which is really very important. So I want to start off, Gauri, to ask you, who are you? Who is Gauri Kuchhal?
Okay, to begin with, I would say the first thing that you asked me, who am I? I am just a soul. So, as anybody on earth is a soul, so am I is a soul. And yes, my name is Gauri Kuchhal. I belong to the city, which is anybody in the world who's not visited Jaipur, they have to. It's a beautiful place. So basically, I live in a heaven. This is what I would call it. And my country is great. India is a great country, and I am enjoying every part of it. Then I'm a mother of two beautiful children. My son is 19 years in age, and my daughter is like 14. And see, if I talk about my creations, the first inspiration was my son. He said, Mom, please be creative, do something which is good, which is for the environment, for the people, for the benefit of everybody on this earth, for the earth itself. You have to do something. So this is how I was inspired to come into this business. So my son has done wonders for me, and he has been the inspiration, my backbone, my everything. So anything like making of the website and or other online stuff is something he tries to handle with his studies. I mean, which is like a big help to me. And in between also he would push me, Mom, this is stale now, please do something new. I want to look at new colors now. So I mean, for everything I would just give the credit to my son. I mean, he is my world. My children are my world. And then, yes, of course, I have a very, very loving husband who is like totally supportive. He says that, fabric is not me. See, he says, I mean, for purple also, this is how men are, for purple also, he would say that this is a blue color. I said, okay, fine, I mean, you are not a fabric person at all. So anyway, I mean, this is my small family, and my father-in-law, my mother-in-law are also, I mean, at the part of the families. Even my mother-in-law is really, really supportive that go ahead, live your dreams like a woman. Why do you hold yourself? You will not have to hold yourself. Any small household stuff, anything, I am there to help you. I would do everything, but you just follow your dreams, whatever you want. This is the right age for you. I'm like 44 years in age, so this is the age to to explore and to be my best. If not today, then when? So this is how I can answer the question, who am I? So
yeah. It's so important, isn't it, because it is about teamwork. I mean, if so many people have got ideas, but they haven't got people behind them who will support them, it just makes it so much more difficult. Your son sounds like a very old soul.
He is, he is really, really wise. Actually, he's an old soul. Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you choose fabric particularly? What drew you to doing the work that you do?
Yes, I mean, now see, this is very interesting. If you see my history, I don't see any of my forefathers ever did any kind of business with fabrics, with garments, or whatever. Even coming to my husband's family, also, there was no history of garments and fabrics altogether. See, basically, how it started was, that I had ordered something in the market which said it was natural. Now when I got the stuff and I actually did the R&D, I was surprised to find that, oh my god, this is actually not natural. People are just fooling around saying this is natural. This is not what natural has to be. How can the color not, this is a very, very specific feature of a natural product, of a natural fabric, I would say. The color would bleed 1%, 2% fine, but it will go, every wash. I mean, nothing will happen to the fabric, but the color will go, because this is natural. There are no chemical fixers to it. But then I was actually surprised that, how come people are just fooling around, just faking stuff, everybody talking about natural, but actually they're not doing natural. So this is when, no, it just got into me. It got, the first idea, as I told you, came from my son. Mom, if this is what they call natural, then what is actually natural? I fail to understand. So there the Google would go, the books and whatever, how much we could study, he and me together. I mean, experimenting in the kitchen, and, so many other things that, fine, if nobody else in the world, after even claiming it to be natural, I have yet to, of course, there are people available who would actually claim it to be natural and give natural, I'm sure. But in India, somewhere, half the people would fool around. Actually, that's a very pessimistic figure. Beyond that also, people would just say that this is a vegetable dye. Vegetable dye would actually mean that the dye is extracted from the vegetable. But actually speaking, they're only using chemical dyes. So that is the reason how it got into us. This is where I, relate to. This is what I look forward to do in my life. So that is how the natural fabric, it just got into us, both of us, that, this is where we will be, doing it. So
yeah, it's very important that there's so many people in all kinds of industries that, they've got the food industry, you've got the natural soaps and things, and there's usually something in there that isn't natural, for preservatives and things like that. So you have to really look at labels and really be aware.
yeah, see, sometimes, I have no idea about the soap industry or, the other things. But then, I would suggest to the world is that, find that you're using natural. And in case if you're using any kind of preservatives, at least announce before, that fine, everything is natural, but the preservative is there. So even if they announce whatever is there, that will be really, really good, instead of just claiming 100% natural.
Yeah.
Claim natural with a little preservatives. Now this will be absolutely a good sentence, a good form of business, rather than just fooling the people around. It just doesn't get into me. Why do anybody has to, be a liar, have to fool, one fine day everybody has to go to go to God, actually. So it's a beautiful world. So why do you have to fill you yourself with a lie?
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm totally with you. I totally agree. And what about the fabrics themselves? You make these beautiful dyes to dye the fabrics, but what about where do you get the fabric itself from?
See, the fabric, as of now, I have procured the organic fabric, the God certified fabric, which says that this is an organic fabric.
Oh.
And actually, I've been trying to reach those small loom people also, people who would do the handcrafted fabric, who would, you understand what a loom is, where they create the fabric with their hands.
Yes.
So yeah, we're trying to get in touch with them also. So, these are the people who need good amount of livelihood. They are the people who need, good vision and good eyes also, that people can come and, buy this stuff. So they are like from the villages, hard bread earners. So I would actually like to support them also. I'm actually on a lookout for such a a village where they are doing all this. So I take a handmade fabric for myself and then do the dyeing.
It's interesting you said that. I know I was watching a video earlier on today that came through, and it was from actually a man in Ireland, and how he was hand making linen. He grew the crop, and then he beat it himself, and he did and soaked it and did all the whole process till he got the linen thread to actually put onto the spinning wheel. And it was and you said there are people that do that. So
Yes.
we'll send this around, and hopefully you'll have some luck in finding kind of people to kind of start a cooperative. It's a really good industry. What I found was quite interesting about what you said, and I mean, you sent me a couple of videos which I watched. I've watched them a couple of times, and I will put the links to them underneath here. But when did you discover the healing properties of the materials once you dyed them? How did that come about?
See, it's not healing properties automatically come with these colors, because see, these are basically the roots and the stems, the flowers and the leaves. You know, if you talk about turmeric, the entire world knows what the golden milk is. A turmeric, the qualities of turmeric is not hidden from anybody. Everybody would know about it.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way, that you know, these are the healing, these are the Ayurvedic herbs, I would call them, with healing qualities, and then I am the one who would be extracting colors out of them. So it has to go to the other way around. You know, they're actually there with the healing qualities. It's now that I discovered that, oh yeah, you know, you can extract colors out of them. So it's the other. Yeah.
Okay. So what does your I know why you're doing it. Is you've obviously got a real passion for doing this work. But what does your day look like? I mean, when you start off the process, so, you know, you did it was mentioned in your videos that you have to go into the mountains to get some properties, other things you can get from the markets. So how does that work?
Yeah, again, I mean, talking about it, see, it's been nearly 2 years that, you know, I have been into all this, and 2 years was nothing, just R&D. So because till the time I am not satisfied with what I'm producing, I cannot offer to sale. So past 2 years only I have been making the fabrics and wearing them, and into the sourcing part, that you know, where exactly. Now, for example, the onion skin, if I talk about the onion skin, I was just collecting the onions, whatever we had at home. I mean, the skin of that, and then you know, I just made a small fabric out of that. But then I realized, and supposing if I have to make 10 meters, now where do I get this onion skin from? And it's not available in the market at all. And who's going to preserve that stupid onion skin? You know, so it's like yeah, I mean, that's a very funny part. So what I did, I actually went to the warehouse where they store onions. I said, see, in the process of, you know, shifting those onions, a lot of skin which is left behind. Can you please pack and give it to me? They're like looking at my face now. Excuse me, you want the skin? Yeah, I said, yeah, I actually want the skin. So now this is a challenge, because onions, basically now this is the season. April is the season where you have the new crop of the onions, the new harvest. So that is the time where, you know, it goes to the go downs, it goes to the warehouses. So I have to pick up the skin immediately, you know, so, and I have to hold it for the entire year. So it's like, I mean, till the time it is lasting, I can use it. But beyond that, again, I have to wait for the April to get the new onion skin. So this has come by experience. I mean, you can say. Now if I talk about, I don't know what is this thing about, there's a wood which is known as the babool wood, and the babool tree actually, and the tree, you call it, I mean, we call it the chal, which is like the skin of the bark. So that is what is being removed, and then you extract the color out of it. Now, this is a brown color actually. And now again, I really do not know where to get it from. But then luckily, you know, somebody said it's available in my village. I said, oh wow, I actually, end of the day, I feel, everybody had been so kind to me. I've been grateful for this. It just happened, that whatever I wanted, I was able to get it. I was able to fetch it. I just went to the correct source. There's a trial and error that, you find 10 places, you go to 10 places, you find a certain thing. But actually, I would say that I've been lucky enough and, thankful to God that wherever I went, in just single shot, I was able to manage my stuff. I mean,
that to me tells me that you're doing what you're meant to be doing. when things, sorry, I'm just trying to move around a bit. When things become um, it become easy, it's because you're on purpose.
Yes, exactly. I don't know how to be thankful to God, what to say. I don't know how to explain to you also how I got into it. Actually, if today, if I reflect 2 years back, things just happened, and how 2 years went, I really don't know. But I have been, into this process, getting into this process, and every time I had a problem, somehow I was able to find somebody or the other to help me through. So the last I remember was, I was like absolutely given up actually on the bleeding part of the fabric, that even after the dyeing, certain amount of the color would come out, and actually beyond a limit, the color would come out. So I was into a fix now, what to do, this is too much. End of the day, everything said and done, but the color is bleeding, it doesn't serve the purpose. Now again, I'd been lucky, my brother visited me, and I just happened to tell him that, just asking me, how's your stuff going. I said, I don't know, bro, but this is where I'm getting stuck. So he said, oh, I have a extremely good friend, and she's a chemistry student. She had been a chemistry student throughout, so she would be able to help you. I said, okay. Then I gave her a call. So she's telling me, oh, natural dyes, I know some. She also had another very good friend from the IT background. You understand, India IT is really those one-up technicians is what you would get. So she said that this female has worked in the natural colors for past 20 years. She has that experience. I said, okay, wow, in just single shot, I gave her a call. She said, this is my passion for natural colors. Any question for these colors, I'm ready to answer. Now, see, this is how it happened. In just, 3 to 4 hours, it was done. She said, no, you have to do nothing. Just give it a salt bath, because salt is something that would, the colors would retain because of the salt. I said, now, okay, fine. Just a basic salt bath, and I was sorted. Can you believe it? I mean, this is how things happened with me. So I don't know how to express more. Yeah.
I know I know exactly, because I've found that if I'm going in the right direction, just I don't have to worry about anything. If things just appear,
Yeah.
just appear when I need to.
Yeah.
So what are the specific challenges you have with the work you do?
See, if I talk about challenges, number one, I have to manage my raw material. It takes a lot of energy for me to source the correct raw material. Now, again, see, with the raw material, see, this is all natural. Now, if you have a good rainfall, the effects of the raw material will be different. Can you believe it? Now, if the weather is dry, so from where that raw material is coming, I mean, so is it giving a good color or not? So again, I have to go and return it. No, that this is not giving me, this is not solving my purpose. Give me another batch. So then they would say that, okay, fine, after 1 month, I will have the new batch from this particular part of the country. So that you can take that. So every time with the raw materials, I have slight, I will not say it is a problem, but then I have to manage. Now, that's the raw material. Number two, what I have to see is every set of clothes that I make, every batch what I dye will be different every time. Because even if 2% variation is there, but then perfect 100 meters I cannot make,
But
because
doesn't it make it more interesting? I like kind of the variety of that. I mean, I lived in Portugal for a couple of years, and I knew somebody that had an orange vineyard, and this vineyard. What am I talking about? But they used to grow oranges, and these oranges weren't pretty. They were all but they were the sweetest oranges. But none of them were uniform. They wouldn't be like you'd find in a supermarket, or but they were the sweetest. And I think that's the beauty of natural. The variations.
Yeah, I agree to what you are saying, but then, your customer has to understand this psyche that whatever is natural is available. You cannot create. So every time there will be a variation. Now, this is what I have to tell my customers always, that, don't expect two batches to be the same. I will try my best, but then I cannot actually. Now, again, if you see the positive part of it, every time I'm getting a new color. So there is no repeat. So
Yeah.
it's this is like interesting for the consumer also, that that she is making different every time. So whatever I am wearing, there's no replicate of this piece available on this earth. So again, it is good for the customers, but then I have to educate them. I have to tell them 10 times that please understand. Now, if I talk about more challenges, then number three, the point is like, I have a very stiff competition with the synthetic fabrics, as in the price point. Because if anything is available, I mean, just take an example that a piece is available in $10, but for me, for a natural dyed stuff, it will be not less than $25 to $30. I mean, this is what people have to understand. There have been a lot of efforts, Sometimes, if I talk about the raw material, if I'm using a Brazil wood, which gives me a nice red color, so the cost of the wood is it's like 1,200 INR, which would be nearly $20 per kg. So that's the amount. Even if I'm using half of it, it's like 600 rupees for that color. Only for the wood is what I'm paying. The rest is like fine, the fabric cost and the other costs involved. So then, I have to actually tell the people, educate the people, that this is what it is. I mean, there's no add up cost, because I am not I'm not there to earn money out of it. It's just out of passion. God willingly, I belong to a house. My husband, everybody, they are doing okay for themselves. I am grateful that I'm not dying for money. I'm not here to create money. But yes, I do have a passion for these things. I am not charging a high tone, but the cost involved, of course, I mean, so
You've got to
this is
break
another
even.
part.
Yeah, you've got to break even. You can't be losing out of it. But
Yes.
also the actual, not but the fabric itself. I know you mentioned, when people have got problematic skin, this won't
Yeah.
aggravate them. They can have sheets which won't aggravate. So that is that is where the extra comes. You know,
Yeah, it does, but then it is how the other person takes it. Now, if I talk about more challenges to me, now again, see, I would consider myself as a fabric maker, a die-hard worker, a creator, so many things. But then how do I market? I'm not a marketing person at all. Now, where do I go and sell? Now, this is another challenge for me. I mean, if I'm there available every time online, on the net, doing marketing, then I would be able to sell. But then, a single soul, where all do you jump yourself into? So I am just looking for a good initiative. Somebody else is ready to take the initiative for marketing my stuff, or again, I'm not a fashion designer to create lines that, this is a line for the women, and this is for children, and this is for men. I am not a fashion designer. I'm just a fabric maker. So this again, I mean, I need fashion designers around me. I need marketing people. And then again, I don't want to spend a bomb, hiring such people, because I'm not here to create money, or, to just, I mean, so
yeah, it might be the case of um, linking up with somebody who kind of makes clothes for people, and then buying your fabrics from you, and then the person can choose a fabric and choose,
correct,
you know.
correct. Yeah, but then I have yet to find any such person. So it's okay. I know that, after 2 years, if I stand here and everything went off well, again, I would be hopeful that, if I ask for it, that I need a designer who can just pick up my fabrics and create something. Or if I need a marketing person, today, if I say, you are there, who's speaking about me. So, one portion of my things get solved. So I'm again hopeful for that also. And I'm sure, another 1 month, 2 months, this will again, be sorted, that, okay, fine, I have found somebody for this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no mistake how kind of you found soulfully connecting, and and you're the kind of person that is core to what the message we're trying to spread. That people do have choices, and but the worst of it is a lot of people don't think they have. And we talk about natural products, but also on spiritual stuff as well. There's always choice. We are masters of our own destinies. Nobody has to be a victim if they choose not to be. So I'll definitely kind of spread the word as much as I can, because I think it's really important that we kind of go back to basics, and finding an awful lot of people going back to basics. I mean, the things with the plastics, people kind of now going back to glass bottles, and and getting rid of straws. You get all the it's now's the time that people realize that, except for a very few people, realize that the planet is really in trouble, and we need to change our ways.
True. And see, one thing more I would like to mention as far as the challenges would go. My colors, would be a little dull tone. I cannot create those really vibrant origins and magentas and, those, the bright sunshine. I will not be, because these are not synthetic colors, these are natural colors. So whatever, those subtle tones and, those lighter tones is what I will be creating. I cannot create, if anybody has a passion for those really bright tones, I'm sorry, but then I cannot cater to them. So
yeah, but I mean, I know that you're wearing something that you've created. So you told me earlier, so would you tell people what you're wearing?
okay, now this is just a top. I mean, it's just a long top, which I've worn on a denim trouser, and this is made out of two colors. Now, one is the alum, which is a natural substance which is available in the ground. But then you can call it aluminum sulfate in chemical terms, if you say. But actually, it is alum, because see, you have to understand, even water has a chemical composition. So what we are talking about is not no chemical. What we are talking about is no synthetic chemical. This is all natural chemical which is available on Earth. So one color is the alum, the other is the turmeric. So I have blended both the colors to create such. I don't know if it's visible, if the two colors are visible to you or not.
Yes, yeah, I can see the stripe. Yeah.
Yeah, stripes, yes, actually. And now this thread work, I got it done from a designer friend. I said, make something for me. So she said that, it has to be a wooden button and a hand done thread work. So I said, I'm absolutely okay with that. So if you talk about the skin, actually, just like it really pampers your skin. You feel so nice after wearing this. That as if you've worn nothing, it just clings to your body. It is so soft, and it's like and even if you have a slight itching and other kind of, because it's like really sweaty in India. The weather is really bad this time. It's like, it's today, it is 45 degrees, if I say so. I mean, I can't be, see, we don't have anything centrally air conditioned. So it's like we have ACs in our room, but then even if we move out of the house, we are like sweating. But then, wearing this fabric will give you kind of soothing, and that effect that, okay, fine, even if it is hot, it is perfectly fine, and it's wearable, no grumbling about the weather. I'm perfectly fine wearing this stuff in this heat. So this is what the feel is all about.
Yes, because a lot of materials, they're very clammy,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I spent a lot of my childhood in kind of Middle Eastern and Far Eastern countries, and yes, so I know how important it is to have material that breathes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
on you. Yeah. So what are the real joys that you get from the work that you do?
Lots of joys, lots of joys. I have to be thankful for, I mean, to everyone around me, to the universe, for what I'm doing. See, because if the fabric is like, created in front of you, you kind of tie the fabric, you dip it in those water, you extract the colors and you dip your stuff, so you can see the making part. And creativity is a lot of joy. It gives you a lot of pleasure, that sitting on this earth, you have actually done something. You've given your part to the earth. You've not taken, if I go heaven above, I've not taken anything. I have given it to this mother earth. I owe so many things. I have to be responsible for my bread and butter, even though the family is there really don't have to worry. But then, end of the day, a human has to take his own responsibility. So I'm happy that I am taking my responsibility as an individual, as a human, as a soul, that anything I can do for for the environment as well, because no synthetic dyes are there. So even whatever the water being disposed, I mean, if you have seen my earlier videos, you realize that I dispose all my water in my kitchen garden. Believe me, we get such lovely vegetables. I mean, spinach leaves would be so big and bright in color that people ask, from where did you get this? I said, you know this is because of the Ayurvedic. See, in India, the concept of Ayurvedic is like 100 years, 200 years, old. So basically, these herbs are again those which give you healing properties. The same way, if you drain water into these vegetables, they also absorb the same qualities. I mean, so it's like eating those vegetables again give you a one-up feeling. That energy inside you. You will realize. See, you realize all these things while I mean. You are doing it. Now again, the manure part also, whatever the waste is there, the woods are there, we would collect it into a bin and we would just add on soil, and then this is how the manure is there. And again, this manure is distributed into my kitchen garden. So that way, my backyard, I like to spend my time there. I mean, I'm so happy there, that everybody would say that once she's there, you please don't call her, because she's lost into her world. And if you can believe me or trust me, I have two workers, who would support me and help me for all these things. I don't allow a single, a wrong word out of the mouth in my area, because I feel that these fabrics what are being made, or anything, these vegetables what we are eating, so we kind of give everybody a positive energy. I would rather, if I'm free, if I have nothing to say, I would rather sit there and chant my mantras. Believe me, I mean, I actually do it, that I'm infusing my fabrics with a lot of positivity. And anybody who would wear them, I'm sure I would like them to feel that something is special about this, because positivity will never go waste. It somehow the other person will realize that something special about this. So I don't know if you kind of believe me or not, but then this
Oh
is
yeah,
what
absolutely, absolutely. They always say that a meal cooked with love is much more nutritional than
I
something that isn't. Yeah. So no, I'm totally on the same page as you. Yeah. I really do believe in the positivity and that words matter. So yeah, so I'm totally with you on that one.
mom is cooking food for the children, she will put all the extra nutrients, because with all the love and feeling, for the children. The same thing, I have it for my fabrics, that this is my baby and I would like this fabric to be 100% correct, a fabric, a creation which is like, I mean, just beyond words, that I mean, this is my passion. I mean, how do I make you explain that? But then this is my passion, that each and every piece out of my hand has to be, of that kind of, it has to be a God's grace, basically.
Soulfully connecting is my passion, so I totally understand. Yeah. So how do you find different colors? I mean, you I mean, did you pick up previous knowledge that turmeric's good for kind of colors and things? So how would you, if you wanted to find a different color, would you just kind of just pick up a root and see what happened, or is this how
Why
you
not?
do it?
Yeah. See, it is an endless process. My R&D would be an endless process. Anything interesting I find, I would just pick up and, try and extract color out of it. Colors I see, for example, the neem leaf, and these things, I did try to extract colors out of it and try to put it in my cloth, but then actually the color wasn't there. So which is like, I mean, the tools, they would give you certain healing qualities again, but then this is going to be your last dip, that fine, you have a neem, neem, you understand what neem is, that's
Yeah, I know.
again.
I tried the toothpaste once, but it tasted horrible. I couldn't. I couldn't. I know it's very. I've come across neem. Yeah, before. Yeah.
Times is if the person in front of me would tell me that I have extra problem in my skin, and if neem suits him, so my last dip of the fabric would be the neem water. So I try to do that. And yes, again, I mean, this is again an education for everybody to know how would you wash these garments. I would only suggest that use soap nut. I mean, I don't know if you have soap nut in your country. Soap nut is basically nut. It's a tree which gives you nut, and you just have to pick those and grind it to make a powder. And if you put that powder in the water, you will. I mean, the bubbles come out as if it is just any surf and Ariel. So this is what the soap nut. It's a natural detergent.
Yeah,
So.
I've heard of it. I haven't looked for it, but I will. But you can get most things here, so I'm sure get it.
Yeah. Whatever you don't find there, let me know. I will send it across to you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Everything easily available. So
Yeah, it's been so interesting, talking to you because uh, I mean, I love vibrant fabrics and I love like the natural kind of things. So, do you say you're not a seamstress or fashion thing, but do you actually make things in order to sell them, or does somebody else do that for you? If people wanted sheets or pillowcases, I know that you showed some on one of
yeah.
the videos. Do you make those yourself, or do people make them for you so people can get them?
No. See, again, I'm not a fashion designer, as I told you. So any of my garments, I've hired people to do it for me.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm just a fabric maker who just make the fabrics.
Yeah,
So
that's important because we've each got to find what we're good at, and
yeah,
then let somebody else do the
I
thing.
believe the same. Yeah, I
Okay.
cannot trialing and experimenting, because which is not my field. Why should I poke my nose into that? We have
Absolutely.
people around. Yeah, I mean, so.
No, absolutely. So, how would people get in contact with you in case of anything they can offer, or if they're interested in your fabrics? So, how would they get in touch with you?
It's like it's a world of social media. So you can connect me Instagram, and then the Facebook, and again I'm available on Twitter also, in the name of Ayursatwa. That is my brand. Ayursatwa would mean, uh, Ayur is Ayurvedic, and Satwa means a part of it. So this is how the my brand goes, Ayursatwa. So if you Google Ayursatwa, you will find it easily.
Okay, so that's A-Y. Can you spell it out, please?
Ayursatwa.
Okay, okay, and that's at for Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, I'm
But what
there.
I'll do is I'll get all the links from you, and then I can put them underneath this video, so people will be able to contact you. But it's been a real education. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to
Actually, I
me.
Thank you that you have been taking all the pains past 10 days, trying to connect and trying to just get over. I mean, that's I'm really thankful to you to to spread my word actually from your mouth.
It's entirely my pleasure. And I've had no neighbour today with electric saws. Gary, thank you very much indeed. And so, as I said, it's been wonderful learning all about the natural process of, and I really love the colours of the fabrics because they're subtle, they're earthy, and that's more
Yeah.
important to me, and their healing properties and things.
I think you need to tell your people also that in case they connect to me, it's not important that they only buy from me. I'm ready to help them online. They can dye their own stuff as well. I'm open to that also.
Okay, that'd be great. So, maybe if you come up with a course on how to,
Yeah,
we can promote that as well.
surely, surely, surely.
Yeah,
If people are interested, I would do it. I don't have any hang-ups.
fantastic. That's lovely to hear. Well, thank you so much indeed again for taking the time, and thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you've learned something because I definitely have. All right. Goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Gary, and it's really lovely talking to you all. Bye.